friends and colleagues, this is the live surgery of an RIL implantation, which is a phakic IOL implantation for refractive error correction. There are lots of interesting things about this patient. Point number one, I know him from the time he was 6 years old. So he's been coming to us from that time onwards. Another thing is, he is as old as our hospital, 22 years. And now what we are doing is, after the side port incisions, we are going ahead with the keratome. We are going to implant an RIL in his left eye, and the power requirement is -7 diopters. His actual requirement is -5 diopters, spherical correction for glasses, but his RIL correction, according to the nomogram established by the Appasamy Associates, is -7. Open panni kudunga lens. It comes with its own injector. Now you are going to have a look at the IOL, not IOL, RIL. So we're going to take it out, and you can see the vault. The vault should be on the top as we inject it. Can you see the vault which is on the top? Yes. You need to be very careful while loading this. Of course, it's a different matter that we have one more RIL spare with us just in case we need it. But our aim should be to do everything within the first attempt. It's a very thin RIL. The other alternatives are the ICL and the IPCL from Care Group, both of which are good. Now please remember to use lots of visco. The anterior chamber has to be taken care of very well. Visco goes into the AC. So it's a very well inflated eye, and please remember, do not touch the lens or the anterior lens capsule, because these are crystal clear virgin lenses. So that's the Sinskey to stabilize. All of you be careful, don't do anything else except to concentrate on this patient. The procedure is easy, but the precautions are dangerous. The consequences, please be very careful. Now you can see it unfolding and coming out. You can see the butterfly wings. There are several holes here, as you would have noted. And one more thing, because this is just a spherical correction, there is no need for us to mark 0, 180 degrees. Next week we shall be implanting a toric IOL, RIL, for the same gentleman, which would be for his right eye. This is the left eye. Visco, liberal use of visco. Open another new visco, keep it ready. So we use, and another thing, get upper visco. Please be careful, do not go to the center of the RIL if there is any manipulation required. We have to do it peripherally and not in the center, and we have to be very gentle and make sure that we do not rub the anterior lens capsule or any part of the clear lens, normal lens of this patient. And it also has to be aligned in the center, because if we don't do so, the iris will start rubbing over one edge of the RIL and the consequences will not be so desirable. So this is well centered, aligned, great. Now we shall do the irrigation aspiration. Now one word of caution, if this had been a toric RIL, what we would have to do is make sure it is just 5 degrees away clockwise from the 180 degree axis, so that in case we wish to manipulate later by about 5 degrees, we can always do so. But remember, in toricity, 180 degree alignment is very, very necessary. Now you would have understood that we have used a lot of visco and there are a lot of holes in this RIL, but still we should always do a peripheral iridectomy. So to ensure that we do a proper peripheral iridectomy, we have to make sure that the iris closes over so that we know how well it comes over the vault. In case it gets caught somewhere at the superior edge or the inferior edge, we should manipulate the RIL in such a way that the iris runs over it comfortably, because remember, from now onwards, this RIL is part and parcel of the refractive apparatus of the eye, and the iris has to start loving the RIL as part of the eye and not as a foreign body. In other words, do not irritate any tissue while implanting the RIL, and make sure the RIL does not irritate any tissue in the future, because this boy is now 20-22 years old, and until he becomes 70-75 years old, this has to stay there and do a good job. Meticulous irrigation aspiration is necessary. We should be very careful and make sure that we do not leave any visco anywhere. And another thing, you would have noted that the aspiration probe is in the left hand and it is stable. The irrigation fellow goes in and he irrigates the visco out. Wherever there are holes, we hold it over the hole so that the BSS flows through the hole, flushes out the visco from behind the RIL and in front of the anterior lens capsule, so that there is no remnant viscous and attendant undesirable consequences. Now we change hands. Irrigation comes to the left, aspiration probe goes to the right. That is the 12 o'clock position. So once again, start the flow. And you would have observed that in the course of all these manipulations, the iris has started shrinking, and that is desirable, very desirable. We want the iris to become mesopic and start closing, so that we know that it is centered well. The RIL and the iris should center well for better results and desirable results. Can you see we are keeping it near that hole so that it flushes out the whisker from beneath the RIL. Now we will do the PI. Now there are two schools of thought. There are some people who say that the PI is not necessary, but we feel that the PI is necessary. There are some people who do a YAG PI 2 weeks before the surgery. There are some who do the PI during the surgery. Now we will be doing it during the surgery. So as you can see, that's the vitrectomy probe. The irrigation probe has entered. It can be done anywhere. There are people who do the PI in 2 places also. Let's see. Amma tubing correct paranga. Superior PIs are usually better, but they can be done any which place where we are comfortable. Now we are going to the 11 o'clock position. Yes. So using the vitrectomy probe, we are doing it. That's a beautiful PI. And now we shall hydrate the incisions made in the cornea and inject 4-quin PFS, which is preservative free moxifloxacin. So this is the RIL made by the Appasamy Associates, which we have used as a phakic IOL for refractive correction in this boy whose corneal thickness is only 479 microns. That is the reason why we went in for an RIL. Had it been more than that, we would have done a smile surgery. Thank you very much, my dear friends, for watching this surgery. Thank you.